Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Isaiah, and in this video I'm going to talk about how we have made $600 this week and we bought some shares of a stock. So before we jump into it, let's go over what we have expiring tomorrow. I only have 2 contracts open set to expire tomorrow, and that's my SoFi $9 puts. Unfortunately, SoFi just ran up too much for me. I know most people are like, oh, it's great, the stock ran up. When you're a put seller like myself, a flat market or one that goes below and just above your strike is amazing for premiums. So unfortunately, it's just too low for me to really make any money on a roll. I mean, just nothing for the $9 strike. So I'm going to let that expire worthless, which means I will get my $1,800 back that I have held as collateral there. And I will then look for another play for next week. I won't make any more put sales this week. I'm sure I'm good there. Like I said, my minimum goal is $550 a week, and I think we're at like $610 or $620, somewhere in there. We'll do our running total and our Excel spreadsheet check tomorrow. But this video, I did open one new put today. So let's go look at our trade history. We sold a put on ASPN, Aspen. I've never played them before. Stock Screener said, hey, give them a try. I kind of like their upward potential. So it's a new one for me. And the big reason I got into them is, like I said, I saw a lot of growth potential with them. And to be honest, I really don't have anything in that field, any stocks in this field, so I kind of thought, you know what, let's give it a try. We collected a nice $35 from a $500 investment. For those that are new, selling a put means you're agreeing to buy a stock for a predetermined price, and because you're willing to do so, you collect a credit. In exchange, the market holds your collateral, your money as collateral. So if the strike price or the price you agree to buy it at is $5, the market holds $500 because one option contract equals 100 shares. So that is what I've collected so far this week in some cash. But let's talk about ULTY. I guess let me scroll down a little bit slower for you. Guys want to know how many option contracts I have open? Well, here's the start of options, and we are going. And the answer, I believe, is 50 or 55, somewhere in there. Total contracts open right now. You see we're just going. Now, finally, we're in the stocks we own in this account. ULTY. I bought another 100 shares of this today. That gives me 615 shares. And you're asking, why did you do that? You always talk about selling options being better than high-yielding dividends. It is. Every way to Sunday. But I decided I'm going to get 1,000 shares of ULTY. That's just a goal of mine. Again, like I said, it's much better to sell options. You'll generate more income. I am just doing that because once a month I take a payment from my vending machines. This month, like I said, I'm taking $750. I'm not actually going to put the $750 into this account. I have some things I'm going to use it for. One of those is I'm paying someone to help me get a little bit better at video editing. It's not a skill that I have or that I actually do anything with. I just record in one take and then post it. But, it's a skill that I like to learn. And then the next is Dad's birthday is coming up, so we're just going to find something nice for him because he's the man. But, so that's probably what I'll do with the money this time. But normally what I do is what I've been doing each month is I've been taking the payment and then just buying 100 shares of ULTY. So in 4 more months, I should have 1,000 shares of ULTY. And then if they keep paying that 9 cents dividend per week on average, that'll be an extra $90 per week towards our cash flow. Now, like I said, can definitely generate more money selling options, but I'm still going to sell options with this. So that's there's just not a lot of upward trajectory with these stocks right now. Nobody really thinks they're going high. What I mean by that, if you go to options and you try to sell a covered call, that's when you agree to sell a stock for predetermined price. Look, the price is currently at $5.88. Look at the $6 strike. We got no volume there. $0 to $10. The last trade was filled at $5. The price is literally 12 cents away, and we are 2 weeks away, and there is no volume on that $6 strike. That tells me that nobody has much upward trajectory on these stocks. But again, that's okay. Keep it flat, make the money, watch the account grow. We're selling puts, selling covered calls. Every week we are generating revenue. Like I said, this week we've collected over $600. And that'll close out our week in terms of trading. And then next week we will jump into it with, we have 1, 3, 4, 5. 5 contracts set to expire next week. I believe MSTR has earnings today. Not a stock I own or ever would own, but just was kind of curious where they were at after hours. $6.30. This company, literally all they do is buy Bitcoin. So it's not really a company I'm interested in, and obviously to sell a put on it, it would be extremely expensive. So no interest there. But that kind of closes out what we have on the horizon and what we've done so far this week. Happy with the way the account is growing. We are averaging anywhere between $600 and $800 every single week in premiums collected. It makes growing the account easy, quick, and not very time consuming. If you're somebody that wants to learn how to sell options, learn the terminology, and get a little bit more confidence in yourself, I do sell courses on Fiverr. I recommend checking it out when you get an opportunity. Love to work with you. But on a more important note, hope you guys are watching the New York Knicks basketball game against the Detroit Pistons. My dad has the Knicks. I have the Pistons. I need the Pistons to play hard here tonight. I need them to close them out. They took a lead going into halftime with a big shot. I'm hoping the Pistons can even the series tonight and then take the Knicks in Game 7. And then my Nuggets coming out of the 10 o'clock game or the 7 o'clock, depending where you're at in the world. The Nuggets are playing the Clippers. I have the Nuggets coming out of the West and playing my Cavs. Like I said, I'm an Ohio guy, so we're pulling for the Cavs. LeBron didn't get it done. I needed him to get it done, but the Timberwolves were too much for him, and I still think he's going to be back with vengeance next year. I don't think it's over. But, yeah, that's my take on the NBA playoffs currently. I do love the playoffs. I love every sport, especially in playoff time. So periodically throughout my videos, I'll ramble about the sporting events. It's just something my family, we all enjoy watching sporting events. So we talk about them and, make our guesses who's going to win. But also I wanted to touch base on business. So I talk about stocks. And as I said, I do have a couple LLCs. One of them is vending machines. So a lot of people ask, and I've already posted a couple videos on this, but I'll kind of do a quick touch. How do you get started into vending machines? And my recommendation is before you physically get a machine, because it doesn't take that long to get some shipped to you, get a client first. Find your locations. And how you find locations, first, you need a website to draw traffic. Second, you got to be willing to make cold calls or do stops. Because, again, you're a new business. Nobody's going to know you are out there. You need to be willing to go door to door, business to business. And you have to do something that makes you better than the competition. Quality is a huge stance. Make sure you let them know you'll have those machines stocked fully every week. You might have to, go a little bit cheaper in price. As long as you're making at least 50% on your margin, I think you're okay. I would not cut it any lower than that. Just because there are a lot of expenses that go into vending machines that you really don't think about. So make sure you get a location before you buy a machine. And then on the flip side of that, make sure that location has enough volume to fund your supply. Products go bad, and if a product goes bad, you lost money because you bought something that did not sell. So there needs to be enough volume. My favorite locations, and these are hard to get into, but 24-hour factories, places where there are people working hard, men and women in there working hard, 24 hours a day. Those are the best locations. That's my personal preference on that. But so getting started in vending machines, it's honestly not that hard. Is it time consuming? Yes. Is it frustrating? Yes. Because I remember my first year trying to get in places, I probably made 350, 400 phone calls before I really had a couple places. And that's just the way it works. You can't expect to call one place and then just get in. You need to be persistent. You need to do something that other people are not doing. Ensuring quality goes a long way, but you're going to need to do more than that. And you need to market yourself. Confidence in yourself. When you go somewhere, if someone gives you a confident response, you usually take that as the correct answer. And that's the same way when you're marketing yourself. When someone calls you, you let them know with confidence you are the right person. And I promise if you believe in yourself, it will go a long way in getting your first location. Once you get your first, it's easier to get your second, easier to get your third. The more you have, the easier it is to get in locations. That first one is the hardest. Same way with trading. The first 10,000 is the hardest, and then it will grow from there, and it'll grow faster and faster and faster. This account here that I use on YouTube, it has grown like a snowball. It just continues to increase and increase, and if I wasn't withdrawing from it to make investments outside, it'd be significantly higher. But again, the whole purpose of this account is to generate income so that I can invest in myself and learn new skills. So that's basically what I keep doing, and I really hope you enjoy this content. I've had so many positive comments, and I love the questions, and keep them coming. Never feel like you've commented on one or two videos and you don't need to ask any more questions. Ask away. If I have an answer or if I think I have an answer, I'll try my best to give a good response, a concise one. And then, like I said, I love when people turn me on to some stocks. The wolf play that I made this week, that was turned on to me by a friend from Fiverr. Things like that. Just call it out. Let me know what you're looking at. I'll do my research. And again, my research is, am I okay with owning that stock? That's my whole research. That is my whole trading strategy. And I know it sounds too simplistic, but it's really is. Trading really is that simple. I've worked with quite a few people on Fiverr this year and last year and the year before, and a lot of them will say kind of the same thing. Once it clicks, and you truly understand it, and it changes your perceptions, and it changes not just your finances, but the way you feel in general, because I feel like when you have more confidence in your trading and your financial freedom gets a little bit easier to obtain, confidence in all other facets of life increases. So I know I rambled a lot there at the end, and if anybody did make it this far, put a smiley face in the comments and I'll know. But I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.